let's have a look at a live Wix account. Now this is a totally free account. It is my account. And at the moment I've logged in and it is already sitting on a page called App Landing Page that I was clearly playing around with at one stage. So it won't look exactly like this when you log in. You'll generally find a section that'll ask you to create a site. So in my case, I've just clicked on the drop down here. It says create a new site. I've got a few sites already set up on this account. Mostly I play around with this account. I don't generally tend to do a lot of work in terms of new websites. I don't do a lot of work in Wix, but I do a lot of work maintaining and changing Wix websites. So what kind of website? It doesn't really matter at this point because anywhere will take me to where I want to go. I don't pay much attention to artificial design. Might one day start to play with that, but at this stage I'll just go to the standard Wix editor, and it's going to take a little while to start loading. And this is the point at which it's going to go to the various templates, and it's going to allow me to select a template. I could select a blank if I wanted to start from scratch, but for the point of today's exercise we're going to look at a template that's already done, and we're going to look at a free template. So I want to search for something in animals because I do a fair bit of work in animals, and let's choose this one for Animal Clinic. But just before we do that, if I want, this is where I'm going to go, and for the sake of speed I'm going to go straight to it. But if you use the view on any of these, it will allow you to go and have a look at them. So go and have a look. My advice when using Wix is to pick the template that is 99.9% what you want to be. Otherwise, go and do a blank template and see what you can make. But in terms of being able to change templates, Wix doesn't give you a lot of leeway. So take some time with choosing your template and choose the one that's going to be nice and close to what you ultimately want. You can change colors, you can change backgrounds, you can add images, and you can add certain design elements such as text and videos and buttons and that sort of thing. But in terms of changing the template, there is virtually not a lot you can do, and honestly the templates that they do in Wix are pretty good. So you want to take advantage of that. The Animal Clinic, and we'll ignore the pop-up, the Animal Clinic website is still loading, is what we call a one-page website, and then it doesn't seem to want to disappear on me. Go away button please, thank you. It's got what looks like pages: home, our services, about our clinic, keep in touch, and book now, and they're displaying up here as pages, but in actual fact it is just a flat one-page website. So this is home to all intents and purposes. This is our services, about, keep in touch, and the book now refers to this, book an appointment. So you can do things like change the background, although you really wouldn't want to do that in this because we're using a template. You can change the background on just this page, or you can apply it to other pages. You can add any sorts of things. You can add text, you can add images, gallery, slideshow, buttons, boxes, stripes. It's an endless list. What I say to people when you first go into a Wix website, there is no harm you can do right now by just going and having a look at things. So all I'm doing is moving the mouse around, and as I move the mouse around, various submenus are going to come up. Go and have a really good look around. Just hover your mouse over this, so basically you can't see my hand, but I'm just moving the mouse around. It's going to tell me a little bit about what each of these are, not a lot. It's going to tell me the various tools. So if I click on what the rulers, as you can see, the rulers come up here. If I take the ruler off, the ruler disappears. If I take grid lines off, the grid lines down here disappear. They're just here. I tend not to leave rulers on, although rulers are really good later on if you're wanting to exactly see sizes of things. Always leave snap to objects on, because that allows objects to snap exactly into the place that they should be. And unless the toolbar gets in your way, this is what is the toolbar. I tend to leave that on, particularly for those who are inexperienced. Help is obvious, and upgrade is also, well, as we mentioned in the webinar, there is a number of things you have to upgrade to get advantage from in Wix. Not sure about this book appointment app as to whether this is a paid feature or not. Design C. So basically any of the features that you have in here, let's just show you as though we were going to. We're going to leave the template alone, but we're going to add something. So we're going to add, say, a button. And this is where Wix gets a little bit limited in terms of these are your choices. You can do things within changing these design elements, but you can't substantially change, say, like on these, you can't substantially change the amount of drop shadow. You can, within reason, change colours, but it sort of depends on what you're doing. So let's put this one on there. So basically I just clicked on it and it jumped across in. I could make it bigger. I could make it smaller. I can change this text to be contact me, or let's say contact the clinic. I could add a link in that actually tells me what happens when they click on it. I could actually even there put a phone number on there. I could link it to a document that they would then have presented to the person who presented to them. I can link it to another website, to an email address, to the bottom of the page. There's a whole lot of different options there. I can, and that's the same. There's the link. Layouts, you don't get much in terms of buttons. You get right aligned, left aligned, centered. Design, guess, takes me back to where I chose the buttons from in the first place. You can, to some degree, start customizing the design. You can sometimes play around with, there is a sort of few presets you can get. Went to the wrong spot just then. You can change borders to some degree. You can change corners, shadows. On this one, not a lot, obviously. You can generally change hover colors. You should be able to change normal colors as well. Yeah, you can on this one change the color of the button. So maybe I want the button to be more in aligned with my branding. But as you can see, I can actually add a default color down there if I really wanted to. So if I've got a very specific color code, I could add it. So there's got some degree. So I don't know. Let's choose that color for the sake of it. So as you can see, there's a few things we can do. We can also animate, and this is fun. We can make something bouncing. We can make it glide in, and I just need to move that so you can see it. We can make it fade in. Float in. Now, do me a favour, don't do too much in the way of animations. If you're going to use animation, tend to stick to the same animation throughout your website, or seriously, your customers, your clients, or the people potentially looking at your website are going to go stir crazy. There's usually a help on each feature. So I wouldn't normally put contact the clinic right on the face of the cat. See that purple line that's jumped up there? That's that snap to objects. So it's automatically going to give me a good way of lining it all up. And just to be pedantic, it really should have been spelt with a capital C. You can edit this text to be all sorts of, at this stage it's automatically set to the subtitle, but it could be set to the page title, to just a straight basic heading, big, small, little, or various paragraphs. You can, on this ad, you can add so many different things. You can add grid galleries, you can add images, you can add text. So again, as I say, just start clicking around and having a look. At this stage, because all we've done is we haven't published it, we haven't even saved it at this stage, and it's going to tell me in a minute that it needs to be saved. it's not live to the web, so you can play around here to your heart's content and see what sort of look you're after, and get something up and running. You can put in slideshows, buttons, boxes, strips, shapes. There is, even on the images, what I found was there's a lot of images they provide. You can even get for quite a really, really good price of about $2.99 US, I think it is. Pretty sure I'm on it's probably US, I wouldn't be 100% sure, but there's some big stock photos that you can buy for just one single photo. Now that is a really pretty good deal, considering a big stock subscription is usually about between $50 to $70, or around about $50 or $70 a month, but you've got to download normally a whole lot of images for that, and that doesn't necessarily always suit everybody. You can choose between, it's going to show you vertical images, so you can really get the right image that is going to go in the spot that you need to put it in. What I see before also that was really good, you can actually get hold of videos. There's a certain number of videos here, so you can also put in links to your own videos on either YouTube or Vimeo, or you can actually, don't know where I found it now. Where did I find it? The spot I was looking at before, it actually had videos. You can put in galleries in all sorts of different shapes. So there's, as you can see, you can put in menus, you can put in lists, you can link to a blog. The store is so you could add a blog page, I'm sorry, is what that says, not link to a blog. Creating an online store is where it starts to go up into paid features. So what else did I want to show you on this? The other thing is, here we're looking at as though it would be normally at a on a computer screen. You can actually switch the editor view so that we're actually seeing how it's going to display on a mobile. And please do that if you add any particular features like buttons and things. It doesn't want to go, that may be because I'm not, there it is. If you add anything like buttons and things, please do that, because you might find you've added a button that's too big. This section is also pretty good if you're attempting to just design something that's going to be just a mobile app rather than a website page. And my internet's decided to have a little bit of a break. So yeah, this is how it's going to look. Be careful when I added that button. I know I was adding buttons earlier on, and when I was playing around, and I added quite big buttons, and they weren't displaying properly. Yeah, and here it's telling me I haven't saved yet. It's telling me they weren't displaying properly. That they were too big for a mobile site. So always go and check what you've done and make sure it's still displaying okay on a mobile. So we click save. And at this stage, nothing is still live. I'm going to call it Animal Test. And you can go and change that later on. If I wanted to connect to a customized domain, I would do it there, and that is a paid feature. So it's saving. And I can... Lexi, what's up? Shush now. And I can preview it. We're still in... I want to go back to computer. So we're just going to preview it now, because this is a free account. You're seeing the ads are at the bottom. The only way to get rid of those ads is to have a paid account. I can go back to the editor, and maybe at this stage I'm saying, okay, that's good, right? I've gone through and I'm happy with the images. I've added a button I like. I've theoretically gone in and changed the services, changed the About Our Clinic, put my address, opening hours and telephone number in there, popped in my Google map, and the contact form's fine. I've told it where I am, and I've set the social links on the social bar. And I think, okay, ready to go. Let's have myself a website. So at that stage, and you can add extra icons in here if you want. At that stage, I would click publish, and it would be a live website. So as you can see, if something as simple as this sort of template, in very, very rapidly, you can get yourself up on the internet in the space of maybe a few hours. I mean, I could probably play with this in the space of another hour, quickly putting in the text I want here, and bingo, press publish, and away you go. At worst, it could be a nice weekend job. So as you can see, Wix can be really, really quick and easy to use. So that's all for now. In our next videos, we're going to go and have a look at the back end of a Weebly website. Stay tuned.